In the dim bar, neon signs cast a lurid glow on Lumiere. Alone, his brow slick with sweat, he swirls amber scotch, each rotation a futile attempt to bury haunting memories. Stale beer, cheap tobacco, and despair saturate the air, a heavy blanket of forgotten dreams. Veterans and homeless men haunt the corners, their faces maps of battles lost and lives adrift. Lumiere, a ghost in a tailored suit, meticulously rolls a cigarette, each movement a testament to his weariness. Cuthbert strides into the dank bar, a beacon of elegance amidst the gloom. His tall frame and long blonde hair immediately set him apart from the rough patrons. With an air of quiet confidence, he chooses a seat, leaving a deliberate space. He sits a seat away from Lumiere, an unspoken tension filling the smoky air. In the dim bar, Lumiere's face is lit by his phone, his intense focus drawing Cuthbert's watchful gaze from the shadows. The message hardens Lumiere's expression, a silent shift that Cuthbert keenly observes. Cuthbert emerges slightly from the gloom, his presence a subtle pressure in the dimly lit space. Cuthbert's voice cuts through the low murmur of the bar. "Are you going to take care of that?" Lumiere's eyes narrow, his silence a heavy response to Cuthbert's pointed question. In the dim bar, Lumiere nurses his drink, his face etched with annoyance as he looks up, disturbed. Cuthbert appears beside Lumiere, a knowing smile playing on his lips, an air of mystery surrounding him. Lumiere's suspicion is palpable. "Do I know you?" he asks, his voice laced with caution. Cuthbert responds cryptically, "You'd better look after it, or you're going to lose your man." Cuthbert pats Lumiere on the back, the gesture both familiar and threatening, leaving Lumiere uneasy. Cuthbert melts into the crowd, leaving Lumiere alone with his thoughts, the weight of the warning heavy in the air. Lumiere walks into the grim alley, shadows swallowing him whole. A dark figure moves with a measured, disinterested determination. Beneath the fabric, the cold steel of a .45 waits, unseen. The alley whispers secrets as Lumiere advances, purpose etched on his face. Lumiere enters the stark alley, his face a stone mask, betraying nothing. His gaze sweeps over the grim tableau, betrayal painted in the shadows. One of his men kneels, a gun mercilessly pressed against his skull. The goon's furious demand shatters the tense silence. "Are you gonna pay up?" In a dim alley, a man is on his knees, his face etched with desperation. He pleads, his voice cracking with fear. "Paul, please help me!" Lumiere's cold gaze pierces through him, devoid of empathy. Lumiere's words are like a death sentence. "You know, I don't owe you any debt." In the dim alley, a goon raises his pistol, the metallic glint reflecting the harsh light, and fires. The bullet strikes Lumiere's head, yet he remains unfazed, his expression hardening into cold resolve. Lumiere raises his own weapon, a predator now, and returns fire with deadly precision. The goon collapses as his brains splatter against the brick wall, a gruesome testament to Lumiere's lethal response. In a grimy alley, the last goon's eyes are wide, reflecting the terror he feels. His legs churn, a desperate blur against the dark backdrop of the alley. Each breath is a ragged gasp as he flees, his shadow stretching long and distorted. Lumiere's voice cuts through the night, cold and absolute. "The same will happen to you if you don't stop this fucking charade." The goon's screams echo as he disappears into the darkness. In the dimly lit alley, Lumiere's silhouette cuts a sharp figure, the narrow space framing him like a dark portrait. Before him, the man stands visibly shaken, yet composed under the weight of recent events. Lumiere's voice cuts through the silence. "Are you all right?" The man nods, a silent confirmation. Lumiere's command is firm. "Good. Go home." Lumiere enters his apartment, a modern space that reflects order and design, sharply contrasting with his own unkempt state. He moves towards a sleek, steel table, the epitome of minimalist design. a stark surface in his otherwise chaotic world. With practiced ease, Lumiere begins to roll a cigarette, his movements precise and familiar. He settles onto a worn leather couch, its deep crevices hinting at countless hours of contemplation. The couch seems to swallow him whole as he sinks into its depths, a momentary escape from the world outside. The contrast between Lumiere and his surroundings grows more pronounced as he disappears into the old leather. Lumiere bursts into his study, a storm of fury twisting his features. He snatches a hunting knife from the wall, his grip tightening with each surge of frustration. A guttural scream tears from his throat as he raises the knife. He plunges the blade into his stomach. Again and again, a desperate act of rage. The knife clangs uselessly against his skin, sparks flying, a futile dance of despair. Lumiere lies awake in his bed, the darkness amplifying his inner turmoil. His eyes are wide, with a torment that keeps sleep at bay. He stares at the ceiling, a canvas for his restless thoughts. Each shadow in the room seems to echo his sleepless dread. In the dead of night, Lumiere's eyes snap open, disturbed by a faint sound from the kitchen. Reaching under his bedside table, his fingers instinctively wrap around the cold steel of a silenced gun. Rising from his bed, he moves with a practiced stealth, each step measured and silent. Lumiere advances towards the kitchen, the gun held ready, a dark silhouette against the dim light. The silence of the apartment is thick with tension, broken only by the soft creaks of the old building. Lumiere's senses are on high alert, every shadow a potential threat in the darkened kitchen. In his dimly lit apartment, Lumiere's senses sharpen as footsteps echo from behind, breaking the silence. Reacting instantly, Lumiere whirls, a single gunshot shattering the quiet. The figure is hit. Unfazed, the figure stumbles forward, the sound of dragging metal growing louder. Chains and handcuffs glint ominously as the relentless figure advances. In his apartment, Lumiere raises his gun, the metallic glint of the barrel reflecting the coldness in his eyes. A sharp, echoing gunshot shatters the silence. The man falls, a dark stain blooming on his head. Lumiere, unmoved, watches the body drop. He advances, gun still raised, a predator stalking its prey. Entering the kitchen, Lumiere scans the room, alert and dangerous. Inside Lumiere's apartment, shadows dance, revealing 4 figures lurking in the dim light. Lumiere's eyes dart nervously, spotting the intruders. He raises his weapon, its metallic surface gleaming ominously. A gunshot shatters the silence, the sound echoing through the confined space. A sickening thud resonates, the bullet finding its mark with brutal finality. Blood splatters vividly across the cooktop, staining the pristine surface with a gruesome tableau. Inside Lumiere's apartment, chaos erupts as 2 figures launch an unexpected assault. Lumiere is caught off guard, his world instantly turned upside down. The attackers swiftly overpower him, forcing him down with brutal efficiency. He struggles against their combined strength, a desperate fight for freedom. Lumiere is pinned to the ground, his movements restricted. Immobilized and vulnerable, Lumiere's eyes reflect a mix of shock and defiance. Inside Lumiere's apartment, shadows lengthen as figures clad in black stealth close in. The sudden intrusion shatters the calm, their movements precise and menacing. Lumiere, caught off guard, is quickly subdued, the chain binding him. The apartment, once a sanctuary, now becomes a stage for a silent, hostile takeover. Chains bind Lumiere in the stark interrogation room, a prisoner of harsh light and cold steel. He strains against the unyielding metal, his sharp fingers a blur as he desperately claws at his bonds. Frustration etches across Lumiere's face as his efforts prove futile against the unforgiving chains. The cold, metallic links mock his struggle, reflecting the dim light in the oppressive space. Each failed attempt echoes in the silence, amplifying Lumiere's isolation and despair. Lumiere pauses, defeated, the weight of his captivity settling heavily upon him in the stark room. In a stark interrogation room, shadows dance across the bare walls, highlighting the tension. A thug strides in, his smirk a silent threat as he eyes Lumiere, who is bound tightly to the chair. Lumiere meets the thug's gaze head-on, his defiance burning bright in the dim light. "Well, seems we finally caught Paul," the thug sneers, his words dripping with sinister satisfaction. Inside the stark interrogation room, a thug prepares to strike Lumiere, fist clenched, menace radiating from his eyes. In a shocking turn, Lumiere's jaws snap shut with brutal force. A scream tears through the room as the thug recoils, clutching his mangled hand. The thug's agonized cry echoes in the confines of the interrogation room, a testament to Lumiere's savage defense. A stark interrogation room, cold and sterile. Metal table, 2 chairs. Tension hangs heavy in the air, thick and suffocating. Silence descends, broken only by the weight of unspoken words, as the interrogation begins. Lumiere's voice cuts through the silence, a warning laced with urgency. "You're gonna pass out if you don't stop the blood flow. You'd better leave." Lumiere finishes, the threat clear, the stakes rising with every word. Inside the stark interrogation room, tension hangs heavy as a tall, skinny man appears, his black hair slicked back. He surveys the scene with a calculating gaze, his presence immediately commanding attention. His voice cuts through the silence, laced with disdain. "A good show you've put on." The air crackles with unspoken challenge, setting the stage for a high-stakes confrontation. A stark interrogation room, cold and sterile. Fluorescent lights hum, casting a harsh glare. A man sits, composed, across from Paul, the tension palpable in the confined space. The man leans forward, his gaze intense, a predatory glint in his eyes. "The truth is, your industry is our biggest competitor." The man begins, his voice dangerously smooth. He pauses, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air, a silent threat. "And since it seems impossible to kill you, we had no other choice." Paul. A bare interrogation room under a harsh light. The metal table gleams, a cold centerpiece to the tense standoff. The man leans in, his face a mask of intense curiosity, searching for answers in the unsettling calm across from him. His voice drips with a mix of fear and morbid fascination. "I'd love to know what you are. A demon? An angel? An alien?" Lumiere's eyes glint with dark amusement, an aura of otherworldly power surrounding him in the stark room. Lumiere's lip curls into a sneer, shattering the room's tension with a vulgar retort. "Get fucked." The fluorescent light hums, casting stark shadows that dance around Lumiere. The man recoils, his face a study in shock. The interrogation room is stark, bare. A single table divides the space, 2 chairs facing each other. The man leans back, confident, almost amused. His expression is unsettlingly calm. A smirk plays on his lips, hinting at secrets and power. His eyes glint with a disturbing knowingness, unfazed by the sterile environment. "We'll talk again soon," he says, the words hanging heavy in the tense silence. Days blur in the stark interrogation room, each moment amplifying the silence and tension. A guard shift, changes, the mundane act masking an impending betrayal. As one guard turns to leave, a glint of steel betrays the silence. A suppressed pistol rises. A shot rings out, muffled yet decisive, shattering the room's oppressive calm. The stark interrogation room awaits, cold and silent. Cuthbert enters, his footsteps echoing in the tense space. A palpable tension hangs in the air as he assesses the scene. He approaches, concern etched on his face. His voice a soft inquiry. "Are you all right, Paul?" The question hangs, unanswered, in the heavy silence. A stark interrogation room, cold and unforgiving. Lumiere sits, sweat beading, under harsh fluorescent lights, his eyes intense and wary. reflect the sterile glare, betraying a flicker of fear. Lumiere leans forward, his voice strained, demanding answers from the unseen presence. "Why are you here?" he questions, his voice echoing slightly in the confined space. His grip tightens, knuckles white as he presses for the truth. "How did you know where I was?" The fluorescent lights hum, casting long shadows that dance with the unspoken tension. Under stark fluorescent lights, a metal table gleams, the sterile air thick with unspoken tension. Cuthbert leans forward, his eyes gleaming with intent, ready to dominate the interrogation. "Well, the first question is simple," Cuthbert begins, his voice smooth yet menacing. Cuthbert states his desire to be a part of the country's best drug industry, demanding a tracking chip. Under harsh fluorescent lights, Lumiere faces Cuthbert across a sterile metal table. The interrogation room is cold, the silence broken only by the hum of the lights. Lumiere leans forward, a glint in his eye. "Well, you're committed." Cuthbert's voice is firm, pushing back against the accusation. "My name is Cuthbert." In the stark interrogation room, Cuthbert approaches with a disarming smile, his intentions unclear. Cuthbert reaches for the heavy chains binding the prisoner, a gesture that could signal either menace or mercy. "Let's get you out of these chains," Cuthbert says, his voice a soothing balm in the tense atmosphere. With unsettling casualness, Cuthbert whispers, "Open sesame," a strange incantation in the grim setting. Lumiere collapses onto the cold floor, his body hitting the ground with a thud. His vision swims as he looks up, dazed and disoriented, at the looming figure above. Cuthbert's shadow stretches over Lumiere, a silent promise of what's to come. A cold, calculating smile creeps across Cuthbert's face, devoid of warmth. "I'm looking forward to some good business," Cuthbert says, his voice smooth and menacing. Lumiere sits on a weathered park bench as the afternoon sun casts long shadows, his face etched with a quiet intensity. He takes a final drag from his cigarette, the ember glowing like a defiant spark before he stubs it out. His phone vibrates with a message. "Come to Frankie's Cafe. I have a business venture for us." A flicker of intrigue crosses Lumiere's face, a new opportunity beckoning from the digital ether. Sunlight dapples through the trees in the park. Lumiere's eyes soften. A gentle breeze rustles the leaves. A faint smile appears on Lumiere's lips. The promise of connection lingers in the air. A new friendship begins to blossom in the park. Lumiere saunters down the bustling street, a plume of smoke curling from his cigarette, a picture of nonchalant grace. Sunlight glints off the cobblestones as he moves with a subtle rhythm, each step measured and full of unspoken intent. The city noises fade into background as Lumiere continues on, the smoke dancing in the sunlight. He pauses, a flicker of thought crossing his face, before he resumes his walk, disappearing into the urban maze. Lumiere enters Frankie's Cafe, the aroma of coffee filling the air. He strides towards the counter, his presence commanding attention. Lumiere leans on the counter, ready to make his order. "A long black double shot, please," Lumiere says, his voice smooth. The bell above Frankie's Cafe door jingles, announcing Anna's arrival. Anna's eyes sweep across the bustling cafe, searching, seeking. Her gaze locks onto Mark, alone with his coffee in the corner. Mark looks up, his eyes meeting Anna's across the crowded room. A flicker of relief washes over Mark's face as he sees her. Hope blossoms in the quiet corner of Frankie's Cafe. Inside Frankie's, the aroma of coffee mixes with the gentle hum of conversation. Sunlight bathes the bustling cafe, illuminating dust motes dancing in the warm air. The gentle clatter of dishes and the hiss of the espresso machine fill the cozy space. A comforting haven, where light and sound blend into a symphony of daily life. Tranquility and energy intertwine, creating a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. The air is thick with the rich scent of coffee as sunlight floods Frankie's Cafe, illuminating dancing dust motes. A bustling morning unfolds as sunlight bathes the checkered floor. Amidst the tightly packed tables, waiters navigate with trays of steaming cups. The aroma of coffee hangs heavy, a comforting blanket in the lively cafe. The bell above Frankie's cafe jingles, cutting through the morning bustle. Anna, a young woman with bright, determined eyes, steps inside. Steam curls from countless coffee cups, filling the air with warmth. The aroma of freshly baked pastries hangs heavy, a comforting invitation. Frankie's cafe is alive with the energy of a busy morning. Sunlight floods Frankie's cafe, casting a warm glow on the tables and chairs. The rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee hangs in the air, mingling with the promise of a new day. A gentle hum of voices fills the space, a symphony of murmured conversations and quiet laughter. Ceramic mugs clink softly, a rhythmic percussion accompanying the cafe's lively atmosphere. Each table tells a story, bathed in the soft, golden light of the morning sun. Frankie's cafe awakens, a haven of warmth and connection amidst the bustling city. The bell above Frankie's cafe chimes, breaking the silence as a lone figure steps inside. Steam rises from the coffee machine, casting a soft haze over the quiet cafe. Empty tables are scattered around, each bathed in the warm light of hanging lamps. A lone waitress wipes down the counter, her movements slow and deliberate in the tranquil space. The air hangs heavy, with the aroma of coffee and the quiet hum of solitude. The bell above Frankie's cafe jingles, announcing Anna's entrance, her bright eyes full of hope. The cafe buzzes with midday energy, a symphony of coffee aromas and lively chatter filling the air. Anna's hopeful gaze sweeps across the crowded room, searching, expectant. Her eyes lock onto a lone figure seated in a quiet corner booth. A spark of recognition. A hopeful smile blossoms on Anna's face as she begins to move towards the figure. Inside Frankie's cafe, the rich aroma of coffee mingles with the soft morning light. Sunlight illuminates dust motes dancing above the checkered tile floor, a silent ballet of light and shadow. Empty tables bear witness to hurried breakfasts, remnants of lives rushing into the day. A lone waiter wipes down the counter, his soft humming a gentle counterpoint to the awakening city outside. The air is thick with the rich scent of coffee, sunlight painting golden patterns on every surface. Dust motes dance in the sunbeams, each one a tiny spotlight in the bustling cafe. A lone figure sits shrouded in thought at a quiet corner table, a solitary island in the cafe. A steaming cup warms their hands. The cafe hums with low conversations, a symphony of murmurs and gentle clinking. Ceramic mugs clink. Warm light bathes Frankie's cafe, illuminating dust motes in the air and the promise of a new day. The rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee mixes with the sweet scent of pastries, a comforting embrace. Sunlight streams through the large windows, painting the interior with a golden glow. The gentle whir of the espresso machine underscores a low hum of conversation. Ceramic mugs clatter softly, adding to the symphony of cafe sounds. Inside Frankie's cafe, the rich aroma of coffee mingles with a gentle sunlight. Dust motes dance in sunbeams, piercing through the large windows. Waiters navigate the bustling cafe, balancing trays with steaming mugs. Plates piled high, with pastries add to the vibrant scene. The cafe hums with conversation and the clatter of cutlery. The rhythmic whir of the espresso machine provides a steady beat. The bell above Frankie's cafe door jingles, its merry sound echoing in the stillness. Deserted tables gleam softly, reflecting the warm light from the hanging lamps. An empty cafe awaits, silent and still. Steam curls lazily from a forgotten mug, the only sign of recent presence. The air hangs heavy with the scent of old coffee and unspoken stories. A quiet scene, a cafe holding its breath.